Okay, hey everyone. Sorry if the lighting is really bad, and sorry if I look terrible. Sorry if my hair and my makeup is disgusting, but whatever. I don't really care that much because I've been stuck inside for 3 days. And the reason why is because I live in the capital city of South Carolina, which is Columbia. Um, and if you haven't been following the news, there was a really big rainstorm the past, I guess, week. And it all came to a big, um, I guess, head this weekend. And there was a lot of flooding, and a lot of roads got washed out, and different roads were closed because of it. And people died, and a lot of properties were destroyed, and it's just been a huge mess and disaster. I'm sure that it's even worse in other areas. I'm sure it's even worse in our coastal towns and all along the eastern seaboard right now. Um, so, anyways, there's that. I've been stuck inside for like 3 days. So, I don't know. I guess I'm all stir crazy. I tried to make a video yesterday, but it kind of turned into like just an all over the place about being prepared for disasters and things. And I do feel like people should prepare. I'm sure that everyone has like thoughts like, oh, that would be terrible if that happened. But I'm not sure that everyone sits down and thinks, okay, but what if it happens to me? And we were very lucky. Our house, so far, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't get much worse, has handled this. I mean, my neighborhood has been fine, but a lot of different areas have been completely underwater. We had power so far throughout the entire thing. However, the water stopped, so it is a good idea, I think, to keep, non-perishable food items on hand, like canned food. But if you have an electric can opener, it's a good thing just to own a handheld can opener in case the power goes out, because I'm certain that it would be difficult to open a can without one. um, I also think that it's really important to have clean water on hand. And if you are unsure of where your water will come from after that clean water goes out, like, it's great if you want to keep like a case of bottled water or like a big jug of water or however you want to store it. That's wonderful. But I also think it's really important to have a way to clean water that is not already potable. And I think that it would be best to have a way that does not require electricity. Like, if it's just you know a chemical or sediment issue, you can clean the water through either boiling, like if it's just like a chemical thing or something like that, or I guess maybe not chemical, but more like if you're worried about bacteria or something, you could boil it. And there was a citywide like notice sent out like to boil water if you did still have water, because a water treatment plant went down and everything. But you can also like clean water that has like sediment in it by boiling it and then catching the evaporation from it. Um, but if you don't have like a propane stove or something like that, or some other way to boil water, it is a good idea to have like without electricity. Like if you have like a way to have a fire and boil water that way, or if you have propane or what anything like that, that's great. But if your only way to boil water is like an electric stove and the electricity goes out, of course that would be hard. So I recommend having a non electricity based way to filter water. We have a Berkeley water filter. It was a housewarming gift from my parents. It's wonderful. I use it all the time just because I don't really like tap water. Um, my When I grew up on a farm and we had well water, and so I just don't really like handle all of the like cleaning chemicals they put in water very well. It just doesn't do my body very well. Anyways, so there's that. And something that I was not prepared for was the concept of having to evacuate. I thought I was really prepared, and it turned out we have not had to evacuate, so that's wonderful. But my friend texted me at about 8 in the morning um, yesterday. Yeah, so Sunday. And they were like, we're being evacuated. A dam just failed. Um, Thought you needed to know. Now, they live on the other side of town, and thankfully it didn't affect me. However, another dam has broken in town today. So that's not awesome. Anyway, so at that point, I had a minor freak out because my fiance was still at work, and I just was not prepared for that thought. And I was kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, like, oh my God, what do I pack? What do I put in a bag? Like, what do we do? And I called my parents who live on the opposite coast, and it was like 5 a.m. for them, and they still answered the phone, and they talked to me, and they calmed me down and everything, and it was great. But it was just something that I was sitting here like on Friday when everyone was like, oh my gosh, Hurricane Joaquin and this storm cell and it's all going to collide and it's going to be terrible. I was sitting there like, oh, we're going to be fine. We have plenty of food and plenty of water and it's all going to be fine. And then when my friend was like, by the way, you might get evacuated, I was like, oh God, lost my mind. So that was a big wake up call for me. Like, I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. Thankfully, I didn't have to use that, but it was still like something that should have crossed my mind sooner. And I think that a lot of people are like, oh, crazy preppers. I don't want to be like a crazy prepper. And it's like, you're not like building escape tunnels under your house. You're just keeping some water and canned food and stuff around. And you're not crazy. Stuff can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, you can lose power for random reasons, like a tree can fall on a power line. Like, it's fine to be prepared for a situation without power. I mean, you're not crazy. Anyway, so that was just my brief talking about that. I mean, it's very sad what's going on. There are a lot of really sad things going on right now. If you follow the news, I mean, like, tons of horrible things are going on across the globe right now. But anyways, that's just like our little crisis in my area. Anyways, so beyond that, I guess I'll talk about some not as important things globally right now, but important in my life. Um, I'm not really sure what I've filmed some videos since moving into our new house, but I don't think I've uploaded any of them. So we'll go over it real quick. Got a new house. Well, I guess it's our first house. So it's not a new house, it's a new place to live, but it's our first house owning. Like, I mean, I've rented houses before, but this is the first one we've owned. So that's nifty. If you follow my Instagram, which you probably do because there are only like 3 people who watch this channel, which is still cool. And I'm fine with that. But I think that you found it through my Instagram. But I'm not conceited enough to think that you remember all my posts or even care about them that much. So I did post about this, so sorry if this is old news. But I am engaged. I know I said fiance earlier, so that was a big clue. My fiance, he did like a mini like pre-proposal, like he was kind of goofing around, and I guess he was just checking that I was gonna say yes. And then we went to see Paul McCartney live in concert, which was the coolest thing ever, ever. And before the show, he got down on one knee in the like seats, like on the floor in between the seats, which was weird. I mean, I'm glad he did it before a bunch of people showed up, or that wouldn't have worked out. But anyways, and he got down on one knee and he was like, you were the only person who I'd want to be here with right now, I can't imagine doing this with anyone else, all those sweet, wonderful things. And of course I said yes. And so that was an amazing night. And he actually showed me that he emailed, this was at the Colonial Life Arena, is where Paul McCartney played in Colombia. He actually emailed the Colonial Life Arena and asked them if they would put it on like one of the big screens, asking me to marry him. But they were kind of like, we don't really do that. But that's okay, because it's not really whether that happens or not. It's just really awesome that he knew that this was like an event that I've dreamed about going and seeing since I was a little girl, and he wanted to make it that much more special for me. Like, that in and of itself is just amazing. Oh, anyways, I'm so lucky. Anyways, so those are like the two biggest new things going on. Um, I know I haven't made a video in a really long time, and I'm really sorry. I guess it's just because my life is like awfully boring compared to other people, and I don't really know what to talk about a lot or what you guys want to see, or if anyone even wants to see anything. But if you do, like if there is something you want me to do, or like some kind of like challenge or Q&A or just anything random, I don't care. I'm all up for the randomness. Go ahead and send a comment on this video or send me a message on Twitter, which is at Mitzi Barracuda, or hit me up on Instagram, which is also at Mitzi Barracuda. I am always excited to hear from people. Like, there will never be a time where I'll be like, oh God, I don't want to message someone. Like, I'm totally ready to talk to whoever. But anyway, so I have this new tripod. Hopefully it's got you guys at a good level. I know that my last few were kind of weird because I was like balancing the camera on like jewelry boxes and who the heck knows. But we're thinking about adding a few new members to our family, little fur members, because we just we have big hearts and we have a home to provide. And I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of like one of my callings in life is to, you know, help the little babies in the world, the little fur babies. And I mean babies too, but I mean I've got one of those and I'm good for now. But anyway, sorry, this has gotten kind of rambly and weird. um Anyway, sorry again for the weird lighting. It's nighttime. I had to wait until now to record because my fiance is working nights right now, and I didn't want to wake him. He like goes back and forth, and he was sleeping, and I didn't want to wake him up because I am kind of loud, and you know. But anyways, I cleaned out an area of our spare room, which is kind of like a storage room right now. It's full of our all blah, 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 blah. It's full of all of the boxes from us moving, so it's really messy right now. But I'm hoping to use that area in the future for making videos because it has a big window. Well, I mean, I guess it isn't a big window. It's a normal sized window, but it gets good sunlight. But if I did it right now, I mean, not right now, but I mean, like, because right now it's dark out. But I mean, in the daytime, in these days, there's tons of boxes in the background, so you'd just be looking at all my crap that I need to go through and get rid of like 90% of it. So I'm certain that that would not go over well. But anyways, oh, my back hurts. But anyway, so that's all I can think of right now. So if, like I said, if you want to see anything special or you just want to talk to me or anything at all, just hit me up at Mitzi Barracuda on Twitter or Instagram. Anyway, so that's it, and this is me. Bye.